Millstone, Missouri. Population, 8,000. A place where gossip traveled faster than the wind and people left their doors unlocked, convinced nothing truly bad could ever happen here. On October 21st, a Wednesday night, Darius Green was walking home after a double shift at the diner. He was exhausted but proud. Every long night pushed him closer to his dream. His backpack was heavy with textbooks, notes, and half-eaten food. He was working 2 jobs, saving up for tuition, determined to transfer to a state university the following fall. He wasn't a suspect. He wasn't wanted for anything. He was simply a young black man walking home through a quiet town. But fate turned when officers Mark Sullivan and David Rourke drove down Main Street on routine patrol. Inside the cruiser, Sullivan squinted at Darius's silhouette under a flickering streetlight. "There," he muttered. "That's our guy." Rourke frowned. "What guy?" "Dispatch said we're looking for a white sedan, Mark." "He's on foot." Sullivan's jaw tightened. "Use your eyes, rookie." "Big guy. Backpack. Looks nervous. Fits the profile." Rourke hesitated. He saw nothing but a tired young man walking. But years on the force had taught him one rule: don't question your partner in the heat of the moment. The cruiser screeched to a stop. Lights flooded Darius's face. "Hey! Stop right there!" Sullivan barked. Darius froze, startled. His hands rose instinctively. "Yes, officer. Did I do something wrong?" "Drop the bag." "It's just books, sir. I'm coming from work. I live on the ground." Sullivan's voice cracked through the night, sharp and commanding. From across the street, Mrs. Hanley, an elderly widow, watched through her curtains. Her hand trembled on her phone. She had seen this kind of stop before on the news, never in her small town. She whispered to herself, "Please, let this not be what I think it is." Darius bent down slowly, placing his bag on the pavement. His voice shook as he said, "Please, I don't want any trouble." But before he could lower himself further, Sullivan lunged. He grabbed Darius, slammed him against the hood of the cruiser. The clang echoed down the empty street. "Stop resisting!" Sullivan roared, though Darius's hands were already up, palms open in surrender. Books spilled from the bag: physics for engineers, calculus 2, a spiral notebook filled with diagrams, and a sandwich wrapped in foil. Rourke stood frozen. His heart pounded. He could see Darius wasn't resisting, but the words stuck in his throat. He whispered weakly, "Mark, he's not." Sullivan didn't listen. His fists crashed down, once, twice, fueled by assumption, not evidence. Blood pooled from Darius's lip onto the cruiser's hood. "Officer, please." Darius begged, his voice raw. "I didn't do anything." Then, in a blur, Sullivan pulled his gun. The world seemed to pause, air thick with dread. Rourke's breath caught. "Mark, wait." 2 shots exploded into the night. Darius crumpled. His blood spread across the pavement, seeping into the pages of his open notebook. The ink blurred into crimson rivers. The silence that followed was deafening. By dawn, the official story had already formed. Press release: suspect resisted arrest. Officers feared for their lives. Officer Sullivan discharged his weapon in self-defense. Local news headline: man killed in altercation with police in Millstone. The town buzzed. Some muttered it was tragic but justified. Others, quietly, whispered doubt. Then came the witnesses. Mrs. Hanley told investigators, "He never resisted. I saw everything. That boy was begging. He was scared." Another neighbor, Mr. Ortiz, confirmed, hands up the whole time. "No weapon. He kept saying he didn't do anything." Surveillance footage from the diner surfaced. It showed Darius leaving with his backpack, smiling faintly at the waitress, walking peacefully into the night. Forensics sealed it. Inside the backpack were only books, notes, and a sandwich. No drugs. No weapon. Nothing illegal. Pressure mounted. But still, Sullivan clung to his version. He reached. I feared for my life. I had no choice. Rourke tried to stay silent. Guilt ate at him like acid. Every night he saw Darius's face, terrified, pleading, innocent. His wife noticed the sleepless nights, the trembling hands. Finally, during a closed-door interview with Internal Affairs, Rourke broke. He didn't resist, he confessed, voice cracking. Mark went too far. I should have stopped him, but I didn't. He wasn't a threat. It was the testimony that shifted the case. Sullivan's partner, his shield, had turned witness. 3 weeks later, the truth snapped into focus. Police apprehended the real burglar, a 35-year-old white man driving a stolen white sedan. He confessed instantly. He had never seen Darius Green. He had no connection whatsoever. The revelation was devastating. Darius had been innocent, completely, painfully innocent. His only crime was walking home in his skin. The town erupted. Protests filled Main Street. Some held signs reading, "Justice for Darius." Others shouted back, "Support our police." Millstone split down the middle, neighbor against neighbor. National news picked up the story. Darius's photo, cap and gown from high school, smiling proudly, flashed across every screen. Commentators debated, was it negligence, racism, or both? But to his mother, it wasn't debate. It was grief. Pure, unbearable grief. The funeral was packed beyond capacity. His mother clutched the blood-stained notebook that had been returned from evidence. She placed it in the coffin, whispering, "They'll know who you were, baby. They'll know." Officer Sullivan was arrested, charged with second-degree murder. His mugshot looked nothing like the uniformed protector Millstone once trusted. Officer Rourke testified against him, his voice shaking as he admitted his own cowardice. "I should have stopped him," he said. "I stayed silent. And silence cost a man his life." The jury deliberated for days before declaring the shooting unjustified. Sullivan was convicted. Rourke resigned from the force, his conscience too heavy to bear. But no ruling, no conviction, could restore what had been lost. Darius's seat at college remained empty. His notebooks were boxed up, delivered back to his grieving family, pages stained and torn. Main Street was scrubbed clean of blood, but the memory lingered. For Millstone, life moved on, but not unchanged. For Darius's family, time stopped on October 21st. And for the world beyond, his story became another reminder of a chilling truth. In America, sometimes a single glance from the wrong eyes can turn an ordinary walk home into a death sentence.